Hello and welcome back to a new video. So as you can see, I have my Steam Deck inside of the protective carrier case, and that is because unfortunately I think I've come to the decision that I regret buying the Steam Deck and I think I'm going to sell it.
Well, that is just so regrettable, isn't it? Especially 1 month after unboxing your Steam Deck, 3 weeks after the Steam Deck is amazing, and just 3 days before you were so wrong about the Steam Deck. Just for, transparency here, this is a video by Expert Review Zone, so you should expect some expert reviews. Instead, you are going to get perhaps the worst video I've ever seen on the Steam Deck. I usually don't like responding to people's reviews of things because obviously there's going to be a lot of subjectivity in reviews, but as a channel with almost 13,000 subscribers and someone who calls himself Expert Review Zone, you need to do better than this. Because oh my god, what we're about to watch is awful.
Now, I originally bought the Steam Deck because I'm planning to do some traveling around Asia in the beginning of October, and I needed a gaming device that I could put in my backpack and I could just carry around with me and play some video games when I'm bored.
So, the Steam Deck.
And I thought the Steam Deck would be really great for that because it allows me to play PC games that I can't play on my Switch Lite.
Also, just a little thing here, I really hate this thing that people do where they film something and then they do a voiceover over the thing, but then they try to act like they're doing the voiceover live, because it just looks really dumb.
So this is my Switch Lite, and in comparison to the Steam Deck, you can see how insanely big the Steam Deck is.
You're comparing the smaller version of the Switch to the standard version of the Steam Deck, and you're upset that the Steam Deck is bigger.
That is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Now, I don't have very big hands, but if you want to use my hands as a reference to see how big the Steam Deck is,
just get bigger hands, lol.
It is just really big and bulky.
I mean, it looks like you're holding it just fine. I'll let you keep talking. We're not at the really bad part of the video yet. Stick with it. It gets worse, as I like to say. But I'm not seeing the issue.
It's okay if you're at home, but I don't really want to be putting this inside of my backpack when I can just chuck this into my backpack. Job done, easy peasy.
That's a great way to treat your consoles. Just fucking chuck it. Like, you know how loud that was? Do it again.
Chuck this into my backpack.
Also, maybe you are recording this live. I don't know. I don't know. There's just something weird about the mix of this video. Either you did the voiceover and you're looping it over the audio of the face cam and it just sounds bizarre, or your mixing just sounds bizarre. Either way, I hate it.
This thing doesn't weigh a thing, and it's got some pretty good games on it. It might not have every single game that's on Steam, but it's got quite a good collection of games on the Switch Lite. And I feel like I'd just rather have the Switch Lite.
What games does the Switch have the Steam Deck doesn't? Like, you realize you can run Switch emulators on the Steam Deck, right?
This thing is so weightless. Look, I could lift it with one finger.
That's a fucking fantastic way to treat your hardware.
Look, I could lift it with one finger compared to the Steam Deck, where it's just kind of heavy, kind of bulky.
The Steam Deck weighs 1.5 pounds. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Normally I would joke about you being a wuss and you need to get to the gym, but this is just like, you need to lift anything. Like, literally pick things up and put them back down and you'll be able to hold 1.5 pounds comfortably. Oh my god. Just because something is heavier than an intentionally very light system, that doesn't mean the thing is heavy. You're just making yourself sound like a wuss.
There's no way I would even try to one finger this thing because it's just a bit of a beast of a machine.
Oh god, there's such a bad sex joke I can make right now.
So this is my backpack that I'm planning to take with me to Asia. And as you can see, when I close the Steam Deck into its protective carrier case, and I put it next to my backpack, it's actually very big.
Oh god, there's another bad sex joke I can make. Say something more interesting so I can actually respond to your points and not just think of stupid sex jokes.
Compared to my backpack, it's like a third. This way, horizontally, it's a third of the size of my backpack.
Okay, and your Switch in a carrier case would be about 1/4. What's your point?
And then vertically, it is 1/3 of the vertical length of my backpack.
Okay, so don't put it in your backpack like that. Or just carry it in your hand. Oh, wait, no, sorry. A pound and a half is too heavy for carrying it in your hand. My bad. Like, what's the point of the carrier case if you're not going to use the case? Like, what's the point of putting the thing in a... it's literally called a carrier case. Why did you get a carrier case if carrying it upsets you?
So when I put it into my backpack, look how much space it takes up in my backpack.
Yeah, that's really not that much space, actually. Like, I don't know how much stuff you have to pack, but that's really not that much space in the grand scheme of the backpack.
It takes up so much space in my backpack.
It literally doesn't.
It's so big, and compared to the Switch Lite where I can just slot it in there, look, you can't even see the Switch Lite. The Switch Lite just kind of disappears into my backpack.
Wait, so you're putting the Switch Lite without a case into the backpack and you're fine with that, but the Switch in the case takes up too much space. If you don't care about keeping your Switch intact or your Switch getting knocked around, why are you not holding the Steam Deck to that same standard?
And then you can't even see it anymore. But the Steam Deck is so bulky, and already I can feel it's pretty hefty and weighty.
The Steam Deck sucks because I have small muscles.
And I don't even have my other things in my backpack yet, like my laptop and my tablet.
Bro, if that is already too heavy for you, if a pound and a half, like, I really need to hammer this home. You are making yourself look like such a fool right now. If you think a pound and a half in your backpack with nothing else, just a pound and a half in your backpack is already, too heavy. Go to the gym before you snap yourself in half. A pound and a half being too heavy is not a flex.
It just feels way better to have this Switch Lite in my backpack.
That was such an awkward cut. I hated it. Thanks.
In case I wanted to do some quick on-the-go gaming. So my other problem with the Steam Deck has to be the price. So I was a bit silly and I decided to buy the most expensive version of the Steam Deck.
I really want to make fun of the way you're talking, but that's like, I know that's not an argument. I'm American, you're fake American. Like, it's not an argument to make fun of the way you're talking. But just all the dumb stuff you're saying and how upset you are that you have no muscles, it really makes me want to make fun of the way you're talking on top of that, because oh my god, you're a walking stereotype.
Which in hindsight is not really necessary. So there's different models of the Steam Deck. There's the cheapest version, which only has about 120 gigabytes of storage, I think.
Only 120 gigabytes.
And then you got the mid-range version, which has about 250 gigabytes of storage.
How much storage does the Switch Lite have again? Oh yeah, about 32 gigabytes. You just said only in regards to storage that is literally 4 times more than the thing that you prefer.
Good amount of chin wagging going on over there.
And then I decided to buy the most expensive version, which has 512 gigabytes of storage.
Can you take your thumb out of your sleeve? It is not 2006.
And that cost me about £565. Compared to this Switch Lite, which only costs about £200 when I bought it from release. I think it came out in 2019, which is when I bought it.
If only there was a way to find out.
And the reason why it's kind of silly to buy the most expensive version of the Steam Deck for the storage is because you can actually put in an SD card. All you needed to buy was a £20, is it £20 or maybe £100, 1 terabyte SD card, and put it in there. And then you would have boosted your storage by 10 times and you wouldn't have had to spend the extra, £200 on the bigger version of the Steam Deck. Not the physically bigger version, the bigger storage version.
Yes, that's correct. If you did literally 5 seconds of Googling, you would have avoided this entire thing. Which, again, is just ironic from Expert Review Zone with almost 13,000 subscribers. Also, going back to what I said before about him doing the commentary over the face cam and it being fake, that was wrong. That whole thing was wrong. He's obviously doing a live take right now. I just hate it regardless.
So my other problem with the Steam Deck is, although it can play PC games, which is great and everything, I don't know why you would want to be playing so many hardcore PC games.
Wait, what? Why do you have to play hardcore PC games? You realize that hardcore PC games are not the only games on PC, right? Like, it's not even close to being a majority. Aside from what I said about how there's a Switch emulator available on the Steam that Valve themselves hilariously put in their promotional thing a few days, like last week, I think. Saying that you only use the Steam Deck for hardcore PC games, or implying that you only use the Steam Deck for hardcore PC games, just shows how grossly you misunderstand literally all of this.
When you're traveling, For example, I'm going to go to Thailand in October. Am I really going to be sitting around at home playing video games all day?
You're bringing a laptop and a tablet and a Switch, though. So why is this relevant?
When I should be exploring the country, seeing what it's all about, enjoying the food and the people and the culture, and trying to get new memories and experiences in life.
So let me get this straight. You bought the Steam Deck so you could bring it on a trip, but now you regret buying the Steam Deck because you didn't want to bring video games on a trip. Stop it.
I don't really see why I would want to be sat around playing some kind of dedicated PC game when I really should be doing other things in my life at this stage.
Again, with the dedicated PC game thing, you realize that's not the only use of the Steam Deck, right? Also, if you should be doing other things with your life at this stage, which is the most condescending sentence I've ever heard in my life. Like, you saying that, I think, excuses me from any shit I would have gotten for making fun of you for being British. You're not bringing video games with you on a trip because you should be doing other things with your life. Some people have different hobbies than you.
I just kind of regret buying it now, and I really don't see myself playing a lot of PC games when I'm out and about traveling.
Switch games, on the other hand, I'll be playing a ton of those.
And I don't really want to sacrifice so much storage space in my backpack just for this big thing, when I'll probably not really use it a lot.
So don't bring it. All of your problems solved.
So unfortunately, I'm going to have to decide not to bring it with me to Thailand, and I think I'll just go with the Switch Lite. I might not even bring the Switch Lite, to be honest, because I'm not actually playing a lot of video games these days.
Well, you can't bring the Switch Lite on your trip now, because if you do, you're a massive, massive hypocrite.
I feel like I'm at a stage of my life where video games are just something you do when you don't have anything better to do. If I had more interesting things in life to do, I'd rather be doing that or trying to be more productive.
Like going on vacation? Question mark?
It's just when I've got nothing to do and I can't think of anything to do and I've done all my chores and done all of my little tasks I need to do, I don't really have anything else to be filling my time with, and that's when I play video games.
Yes, you've described video games. You described hobbies. A thing that you do to pass the time and enjoy your time when you have no responsibilities to accomplish at that moment. Similar to taking a vacation. But yes, one of these is superior to the other.
I'm trying to change that habit of mine, and hopefully traveling again will give me more things to do.
I'm trying to change... Wait, hang on. I was playing video games when I had spare time, and I'm trying to change that by taking more vacations.
You're not very bright, are you?
No, I'm not. I would like to be, but I'm not.
And that means I won't really need a dedicated PC gaming handheld device.
But a Switch, I'll need that.
Also, again, the battery life, I'm not really that impressed with it. It lasts about an hour.
I mean, according to Valve, it's 2 to 8 hours. And obviously, companies always lie about these kinds of things because they give you the highest estimate. It's not so much that they lie, it's just they tell you the absolute best case scenario to use that as a selling point. Nothing out of the ordinary here. The Steam Deck absolutely has, not fantastic battery life, but it's definitely more than an hour. Also, the Steam Deck said, 2 to 6 hours of battery life? 2 to 8 hours of battery life? Nintendo's estimate of the Switch Lite is 3 to 7. So, barely better, by the official accounts, at least. I'm not at all denying that the Steam Deck doesn't have the greatest battery life for a handheld. But to say, across the board, the Steam Deck dies in an hour? No. Maybe you're doing something wrong.
And I don't know anyone who only plays games for an hour. For example, if you're stuck in an airport or on an aeroplane, 1 hour of gaming is pretty rubbish. And where are you going to plug this in to charge it?
The wall? An outlet? Maybe?
You could bring some power banks, and I do have some power banks here.
Oh, okay, so you have the solution to your problem right there. Great. So you brought up a problem that immediately brought up the solution. Great. Wait a minute. You just said 1 hour of gaming is rubbish, implying that you play games for more than an hour, which implies that you do play video games, which contradicts what you said earlier about how you don't really play video games anymore. Why did you even make this?
I've got these 2 power banks that I velcroed together. This one doesn't really charge the Steam Deck because it's too low of a wattage. It only has it's like 10 watts or a 15 watt or 20 watt charger for mobile phones and tablets.
You don't know the wattage of your own battery that you're showing off for 13,000 subscribers? Expert review zone, by the way.
And it does charge the Steam Deck, but very, very slowly. You cannot play the game whilst charging it with this at the same time because you'll just drain the battery faster than it charges.
You have fucking spaghetti fingers. Oh my god.
So I got this chunkier, beefy battery bank, which says 100 watts. So this is actually for laptops and more powerful devices. You need at least a charger that has at least a 40-watt power outage, so it has enough power to charge the Steam Deck because it's quite a beefy machine.
Wait, but you just said the 20 watt charges it slowly, so you don't need 40 watts, right?
And even with this big thing, I think it's about 26,000 milliamps, but in reality, it only has about 15 or 16,000 milliamps of actual chargeable electricity inside of it that can be stored.
You are one of my least favorite kinds of tech channels on YouTube. You just throw out all these big numbers and words and milliamps, some 20, 50 million, thousand milliamps of electricity charge. But then you sprinkle all these words in between giant chunks of you knowing absolutely fucking nothing about what you're talking about. And yet you still somehow convince 13,000 people to subscribe to you. Like, it genuinely amazes me how many tech channels there are like this. Like, people who plainly know nothing about what they're talking about, but sprinkle in enough big words to make the people who know even less than them think that they're an authority on what they're talking about. So then when you put out a video like this that obviously gets fucking bombarded with dislikes because now you've pushed a little too far into territory where you obviously know nothing, and you're probably scratching your head as to what happened, which is why you had to make the follow-up video saying you were wrong. Oh, I was wrong about the Steam Deck. Yeah, no shit, you were wrong about the Steam Deck.
Because when I did my testing, with this plugged in, the big one plugged into the Steam Deck whilst playing Hitman 3 for hours and hours.
Oh, hours and hours. So you do still play video games pretty frequently. Got it. It's not that you don't play video games, it's just that you think there's some moral superiority to not playing video games. Got it.
This thing drained so quickly. It drained my battery bank in about 3 hours.
Yes, that's how battery banks work. If you charge a battery bank and use it to charge another device while that device is in use, you're going to drain the battery bank rather quickly. I'm not even a tech channel and I know this.
So you got 1 hour from the Steam Deck's battery and then 3 additional hours from this big fat battery bank. So you got about a total of nearly 4 hours of total gameplay. I mean, you could buy another 2 of these and then you could triple your battery life to like 9 hours or 12 hours.
You have no clue what you're talking about. It is incredible.
But you're really going to carry 3 of these? It already weighs a ton, so I'm going to have to carry all this.
Oh man, it weighs a ton. So like 3 pounds to you?
Plus this. This is like, oh, it's like a laptop. The weight of this is so heavy, it's like 2 kilograms.
Oh my god, it's like 2 kilograms. That's 4.5 pounds. Literally stop being a wuss and your problems are solved.
And as someone who likes to travel light, this is really killing my travel light backpack and my setup. This is really going to hurt my shoulders and my back when I'm out and about and when I'm going from hotel to hotel and getting on trains and going hiking and stuff.
Because traveling a whole bunch and going to a whole bunch of hotels is just so much, is just way better use of my time than playing video games. I'm contributing far more to society.
I really don't want to be lugging this around. Look how heavy that is. When in comparison,
You lifting that twice and putting it back down probably doubled your muscle size.
probably get like 12 hours of battery life from the Switch Lite just using this tiny, smaller battery bank. I still have to bring the battery bank because I'm going to need battery juice for my phones and stuff. But I'd rather just not have to bring this with it when I probably won't realistically use it a lot. I don't really see myself using it a lot.
But the Switch, I'll bring that. You know, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. I can't do this anymore. This is horrendous. I know you made a follow-up video. I really don't care. I'm willing to bet you only made the follow-up video because of the reception to this video. You're trying to save your reputation, but just, you can't do that because this is insane. Apologies for the lack of uploads recently. I've been very busy, but I am hoping to crank up the output of uploads over the next few weeks. Okay. Good to be home. I hate this video. Toodles.